Hello everybody, welcome in. It's Laura from Tenacious Taurus Twin Flame Tarot, and this is going to be the Twin Astrology forecast for the week ahead for the Twin Flame Collective. We got some big energies still that we are working with in preparation for this Lionsgate portal, so I feel get ready for your ego to put up a bit of a fight as we prepare for a brand new beginning. So we're still kind of working with Mercury stationing direct. We're still in the post-shadow period of that energy. And I feel the universe kind of has a plan in store for the twin flames. And so now that we're kind of out of Mercury retrograde, I think things are starting to become a little bit more clear, a little less confusing over the coming weeks. But I don't think we're done closing out some cycles and some themes when it comes to the last couple of months. So Mercury is moving through Taurus right now, and it will be shifting into Gemini soon. So I think this unsurety when it comes to the journey is coming up to be addressed when it comes to any unstable energies, any problematic energies on the journey lately. So I feel over the coming weeks, it is this karmic webbing kind of being untangled, especially when it comes to love. And so now is the perfect time for the masculine to take action and to implement the lessons that, have transpired. And I feel many of us have been shown the issues arising when it comes to doubt, when it comes to, true love on the twin flame journey, and what can really happen when we ground these unions in the 3Ds. So I feel get ready for a lot of truth to wash over you on your own journey, especially when it comes to this new doorway opportunity to step into these new relationship cycles. So last week, both Mars and Venus returned to their home sign. Mars in Aries and Venus in Taurus. So this really is the beginning of these new cycles, especially for the counterparts, and especially when it comes to love. So we really want to embrace this opportunity. We don't want to keep being dragged into all of these old issues, all of these old problems. We really want to get grounded living in the now and present moment if we are to step into the future. So today we have the 666 portal. If you didn't catch the video that I posted, I will put a video tag at the end of this video. You might want to check out the channeled message that came through for the 66 portal. I talked about these energies, and then including all of what's going on with the portal, we also have Chiron transiting the sun today. So I talk about Chiron quite a bit. Chiron represents, our wounds, our deep sensitivity within our natal chart. We all have a core wound in our natal chart. It represents where we feel emotionally vulnerable, where we feel like maybe we've overextended ourselves, and where we need to move with caution. So I think get ready for a lot of vulnerability in the energies today, and to be shown where you're not fully present in your life. Because if we're not fully aware of our presence, it's really hard to integrate this great loving energy. So with the wounded healer meeting the burning core of your very being, I think we're opening up these wounds. It's feeling like this divine rapture, this divine rupture when it comes to developing our soul gifts. And so we kind of got to go into this energy of divine pity when it comes to this psychological shift that's taking place within many in the collective when it comes to whatever Chiron wound you're kind of working with. So at first, it can be very, very hard to go into feeling these wounds, whatever experiences have triggered these wounds. And it can create almost like this inexplainable form of embarrassment. We should never, ever be embarrassed of our deepest fears, our deepest wounds, any struggles due to our Chiron energy. And so I feel there's an opportunity in the energies today to go into the wound and to heal it. We can't fully heal it, but it brings forward this energy of pathos. So with the pathos energy, it can bring forward all kinds of implications, but fundamentally, this is where we appeal to all of these emotions that are surfacing. And so I feel there's this double meaning when it comes to our Chiron aspect. We can experience life to the fullest, or we can keep playing into this insufferable energy of constantly suffering. So I do feel a lot of Saturn energy coming up to be addressed when it comes to commitment, focus, committing to ourselves. And then a lot of ethics are kind of coming up to be addressed when it comes to this Jupiter energy, this expansion that we're kind of in. And with the sun forming a sextile to Chiron, I feel this is where we really dig into developing a sense of self. And so we really got to look at all of our outer environmental influences, because sometimes our outer influences will facilitate the exposure of these deep wounds and these vulnerabilities. And so I feel many of us are going to come into this deep awareness and understanding of these negative patterns. And when we can heal our own wound, then we can help others to understand these negative patterns to kind of break free. So we're coming into our compassionate wisdom. We're coming into this deep awareness that we all have something to contribute when it comes to the well-being of ourselves along with others. And I do feel we might be facing some struggles when it comes to some inner conflict today, when it comes to this deep, deep wound coming to the surface that's really blocked us from stepping into the joy of our self-expression and being truly authentic. So I feel there's a perfect opportunity today with the 666 portal for great growth, but it is going to be a very painful process at the same time. So it's basically light meeting the pain. And so this energy is going to shed all kinds of light on these wounds below the surface. It's going to show you where you've struggled with self-confidence, which is likely stemming from somewhere in childhood where you've experienced some trauma of some sort. And so with the sun getting involved in the energies today, I do feel a lot of the divine masculines are going deep into some kind of father wound. The sun is related to the father energy and the moon is the mother. So I feel a lot of the divine masculines are going deep into a father wound or an authority figure wound. And it's about talking about this pain to bring forward that sense of justice where something has been unjust. So I feel there's a lot of questionings of why me? What is wrong with me? Why am I always in the wrong place at the wrong time? And I feel nothing can justify the losses that we've gone through. So there's a lot coming up connected to our pain body, whatever trauma we've endured in the past, and embracing our deep wounds in order to blend the wound and bring forward this authentic expression of self. So this is an integral part of our self-identity, is going into this existential pain and bringing it to the surface in order to figure out what our true inner personality is. So I feel a lot of the masculines are struggling with this ego identity. And I feel this deep wound related to a father aspect, or where maybe the masculine has been denied that relationship with their father in childhood, is coming up when it comes to any conditioning that has shaken us to the core, when it comes to not feeling like we have a right to exist in this energy. And so there's always a wound when it comes to self-expression. And so many of us hide our true selves with our ego masks. And this is what many of the divine masculines do in order to avoid this very painful experience. And so we cannot keep this trauma buried under the surface. We kind of have to bring it to the forefront in order to embrace a healthy sense of self. So I feel many of the masculines are going through a major revelation where it comes to this lack of self-confidence in the energies, when it comes to going after what it is that they truly want, which is the divine feminine. And so I feel the sun, the vitality of the energy, is giving a lot of the masculines energy to go after their goals, to come forward with that communication and to correct any past damage. So I feel a lot of these masculines have been so embarrassed lately, going through humiliation and embarrassment when it comes to this wounding. And a lot of these masculines act very awkwardly around the feminine because of this wound. And I feel a lot of negative manifestations coming to the surface when it comes to trying to protect yourself. We've got to be willing to open up. So I feel fire sign energy. A lot of the divine masculines that have heavy fire sign placements are in this protective mode. And I feel this victim complex or this martyrdom energy coming up for any divine masculines that have heavy Pisces placements in their chart. And so I feel we're being asked to heal the hurt. and to deal with this energy once and for all. And so this is the lifetime that we chose to awaken to these wounds, to heal ourselves, and to bring forward all of these major themes of complexities to be dealt with. Because once we learn how to heal this deep inner pain, then we can become more compassionate when it comes to the pain of people around us. And so a lot of these masculines have lacked compassion and understanding of the suffering that was caused to the divine feminine. And I feel many of the feminines have grown into this wise sage, this compassionate, loving, benevolent leader. And I feel the masculine is being asked to assert himself, and I feel learning some very harsh lessons in the energies when it is connected to self-confidence and self-worth issues. And so I feel the masculine is being asked to take action. You think of the masculine principle, it is the yang principle. It is the energy of having that courage to put yourself out there no matter what the end result is. It's having the courage to go after your deepest desires. And I feel a lot of the masculines have been playing into this frequent weakness energy. And they've lacked the drive and the determination to take action. They're afraid, almost afraid, to come forward with that uniqueness that they hold. And so I feel it's definitely a parent wound coming up, either a father or mother wound. And I do feel there's a lot of strangeness in the energy when it comes to any painful relationship issues stemming around a father figure. And so this creates a lot of trouble when it comes to acceptance, especially if a lot of these divine masculines didn't have that father figure, that healthy father figure that a child needs from their parents. And I know from my personal journey, my divine counterpart, his father passed away when he was a teenager, and his mother also passed away several years back. So there's a lot of wounding there. And so you think about it, as a child, we crave attention. Children crave attention and admiration. All children do. And so if you don't get that in childhood, it creates this humiliation energy of what keeps causing you pain. And so I kind of feel a lot of 12th house energy, and the 12th house is where we bury the past, where we meet our karma. It's the house of undoing. It is the house of no bounds. And so I feel you know, we're going into this wound of where you've not had a father, where you've had a father missing from your life altogether. And I know all about that father wound. Both of my daughters have a father completely missing from their lives. I don't really have a relationship with my father as well. And so it's about living up to your own expectations is another big message. And going into this scar that's been left on your soul and releasing any conflictions when it comes to not having that healthy relationship with your parents. Most parents have been divorced. I know my parents are divorced. It was a bad relationship, although my mother stayed as long as she could for the children. And so as an adult, we kind of got to learn to heal this wound, this abandonment wound. And we got to, I think, go into this understanding of why we didn't have a father figure there or a mother figure there. And it is about forgiveness, realizing that, you know, we cannot go back and undo the past. We can never, ever go back and undo the past. And sometimes we just have to accept that, hey, certain things were missing from our childhood. And although it can be a very, painful experience when it comes to this injustice, we are kind of being asked to speak of this. And many of us, this is an ancestral wound that has repeated through generation and generation and generation. So for my grandmother, she was raised by a stepfather. She never had a father. My mom never had a father around. He was a cheater and an abuser. And so this father wound has repeated throughout my family lineage. And so it's kind of like this energy of going into this so we can consciously develop beyond it. And so when we have this imbalance of energy inside when it comes to these woundings, it can bring forward a negative mark when it comes to our interpersonal relationships. And so in our life in general. So I think it's really about self-acceptance. A lot of these masculines are learning to accept themselves. And the less we fear rejection, the easier it is to find that self-confidence. So I think there's a lot of energy coming up with the runner twin or the unawakened twin. And many of the divine feminines have this runner, and they run so fast and they run so far because they're unawakened. And so this is where the feminine learns to handle this awakening process wisely, because I think there's a lot of divine ruptures in the energies this week, and we don't want to keep pushing the issue. So I think sexuality and passion is coming up to be addressed, because this can bring forward a powerful pathway of coming together. But we got to learn how to deal with these masculines in the right way. A lot of them have some very unhealthy attachment issues, and I feel we don't want to keep playing into these opposing forces. So I think the feminine's being asked to look beyond the divine masculine's ego this week, and to remember to go into that soul essence, because at that soul essence, we are unified. So I think there's a lot of challenges when it comes to control issues. A lot of the divine masculines seek to control. Many of us do not like being told what to do. And so if a masculine is feeling like you're trying to control them or hold them back, I think it's going to create this very negative space. And so we don't want to focus on flaws when it comes to the journey, or faults. We kind of want to release whatever's been causing these triggers. And so I feel a lot of the masculines right now are in this energy of wandering. They don't really know how to handle romance very well. So I feel a lot of the masculines are, I think a lot of them have closed out that karmic cycle, and now they're in this wandering energy, maybe on like a dating site, trying to find a replacement. And I think they're getting met with, all of these other challenges, because the divine feminine cannot be replaced. And so I feel there's a lot of expansion taking place within the divine masculine collective this week, and the energies are going to have to be handled very carefully, because there's a lot of ego issues coming up when it comes to the divine masculine self-perception, and it can create a lot of deflection, even more than what we're used to. So go into the soul, understand that we are eternal light beings, and I feel the masculines working on handling these ego masks and releasing this self-protection that they've kind of been in. But I also feel there's still another clearing when it comes to the shadow karmic feminine energy that they've been connected with, especially midweek. So I think that shadow karmic feminine is really trying to bring forward all kinds of challenges for the divine masculine, creating lack, telling them they cannot have their desire, that their desire is not going to be there for them. And so this shadow feminine person is bringing forward all of these outdated beliefs, all of these negative influences from the past life timelines. And I think it's imperative that the masculine does not listen to those negative influences at this time, because I think we're all being asked, hey, who does not want us together? A lot of the twins have all of these negative influences in our life seeking to come between us on some level. Whether it's a jealous best friend, because maybe somebody's pulling away for the twin flame connection. It could be an entire social group, because, they don't want to see the twins together. And so I think we're all kind of seeing the big picture. However this is going to transpire in your own life is going to be different than somebody else. But I feel the big message is we can experience this amazing blissful connection with our counterpart, but we got to focus on that. We got to aim for that, and we can't keep playing into any shadow voices trying to pull us off track or bring us back into the darkness. So we're not meant to suffer. We are not meant to struggle. We're here as part of this ascension process to clear out all of these negative blocks when it comes to receiving unconditional love and giving unconditional love. And we are here to be this unconditional source of light on the planet. This is what we came for, so we could come together. So I think we're releasing these ego misconceptions that we're meant to suffer. It is not divinely ordained that we have to go through the separation and the suffering. So we're not meant to live a life in pain. And so I feel later this week with Mercury trine Pluto, Mercury, I talked about this energy before, is that very deep, inquisitive, intellectual energy, and when it is forming a trine to Pluto, this deep, inquisitive nature can be amplified when it comes to all of these cosmic energies penetrating the mind in order to refocus, to find our determination to really become experts in our esoteric knowledge. So I feel this energy of penetrating through the veil, seeing beyond the veil when it comes to social appearances with people, really seeing people's true attitudes and motives. And I feel many of our guides are working with us, trying to say, hey, you got to be wary of that person. You really got to pay attention. And I think a lot of new insights when it comes to what is not serving us and what is serving us, and handling the opposites of all of these conflicting views. And so I feel the divine masculine's energy is not easily mixing in the karmic contracts anymore, dealing with all kinds of direct confrontation leading to this ultimate collapse of those false foundations. So I feel the masculine is going to be willing to pour a lot of energy into this positive partnership with the feminine this week. And I also feel the feminine has such high standards and expectations. And so there's a lot of awareness of our compatibility coming forward, especially with Venus conjunct Uranus later. So this is like, boom, big changes when it comes to love and money. So I think a lot of increase for the feminines, a lot of sudden upheaval and changes and unexpected takedowns for the masculine when it comes to where they have been stagnant. And it is this rebellion energy. So get ready for some sudden shakeups, some sudden changes when it comes to love, because Venus is traveling closer to this influence, which is going to bring forward disruption. Depending on your own situation and your own state of being. So Uranus, it rules change, upheaval, sudden awakenings. It's gonna, have an impact when it comes to electricity and technology. And I feel this is really getting us to spell out where we need to make major changes in our relationship. So I feel a lot of the masculines are going to have a sudden change of heart this week. And many of the feminines might be coming into meeting a new person. Somebody unexpectedly might show up in your life who could just change everything in an instant this week, divine feminine. So I think we're all finding things out, hearing something that's going to completely change the big picture between you and your counterpart this week. And so the energy was feeling incredibly restless. I had such a hard time falling asleep last night. And so we might want to spend some time going alone. We might even want to change our appearance like completely in the energies. And so we're breaking apart everything that no longer works. We're embracing a lot of changes when it comes to the feminine twin. We're not looking at ourselves in that negative view anymore. And I feel these challenges are shaking everything up. And so instability is going to be a theme this week, unfortunately, because Uranus plays that role of breaking down everything that's outlived its purpose. And so a lot of spiritual testing in the energies that we're going to have to deal with in order to get us to step into our highest self. And so a lot of the feminines have been very, very patient. Patiently waiting, and I feel this week our patience is going to be in short supply. I think many of us are so tired of this Groundhog Day energy of patiently waiting, and so I feel that the divine feminine is not interested in being patient anymore. We're done waiting. And so I feel a lot of the feminines are going to be tempted to lash out or make a rash decision in order to create that change. But we need to understand, is it truly guided change, or is it our ego triggering this energy? So we don't want to let irritation rule our path this week, because it's going to create all kinds of challenges. So I think look at your belief system. If you are feeling tempted to cut off your counterpart and maybe date somebody else for the long run, what is the underlying belief in that? Do you believe that you cannot have your counterpart return? So I feel we're really being asked to make wise choices this week. We don't ever want to cut off our desires and settle for something less than what it is that we deserve. So we're embracing breakthroughs this week, breaking free from all of these old beliefs, and I feel really applying the manifesting law of the universe, attracting what it is that we desire. And so when we break apart these negative perceptions, that's when we can really call in the thing that we've longed for. And in essence, that is the truth of the journey. It is about love. And so I feel we're shifting our identities around love. And these shakeups really are to get us to shift our perception when it comes to self-love. So I think get ready to be rattled out of any old identities this week. and get ready to be awakened to your higher self. I think the masculine needs to be willing to release these old ego identities, these negative self-perceptions that are no longer serving the journey. And as the feminine raises and harmonizes with these dynamic frequencies, I feel there's massive healing for the masculine collective this week. And so later, we have this added depth with Mars and Chiron joining together. So a lot of unconscious healing is taking place for the masculine collective this week. And so the feminine is being asked to approach the masculine with these factors in mind, because all of these old ego wounds are likely coming up to be triggered throughout the week. And it's time to take action towards healing, no matter how heavy it feels. We cannot keep staying low. We cannot keep staying stuck. We have to take action to transform our lives. So I think get ready for a surprise encounter this week when it comes to breaking free from all of these old energy cords and choosing to embrace this momentum in a positive direction. So I feel this week is a week of preparation to purify and uplift the twins on the journey. And I do feel we are in this powerful energy this month. We're going to have several 666 portal days, a couple of them. And so this is a chance for multiple new beginnings to start. But we have to hold that highest intention to call that in for the future, and to understand just how truly powerful we are as manifestors, because the next chapter is waiting. This higher chapter is waiting. But we have to open up our mind, and we have to open up our heart, and we have to be willing to reach for the highest, the highest. So let's talk about some other energies that came through. The elephant energy is coming through, and it's the energy to can't keep not talking about this big elephant in the room. And this was the card that came through, the elephant card with my animal spirit deck. So if you notice on the card, there's a flame, and so at the trunk. And then we have the third eye energy there. And so I feel the energy is very unstoppable, a very auspicious time. You think of the elephant, they hold a lot of wisdom, right? And actually my grandmother collected elephants. And so the elephant does represent a lot of wisdom, and a lot of good fortune. So I feel it's the destroyer of all of these obstacles. All of these obstacles are getting blasted out of the water. They're getting destroyed, especially if you're feeling stuck. I think a lot is becoming crystal clear. And so sometimes the elephant energy will create obstacles in order to steer us in the right direction. So we need to trust in the process. A lot is being illuminated when it comes to the way of light and self-knowledge. And I feel a lot of the masculines are feeling very misunderstood when it comes to this fated connection. And they're really needing to trust is a big message. So let's jump in with some cards, guys, and see what other energies need to come through for the week ahead for the twins. I am going to start off with the Spiritual Journey Oracle deck. So I do feel many of the masculines have been going within, practicing meditation. And I know for my own journey, my divine counterpart has been coming through in dream space over the last couple days, several times throughout the night. And so I feel a lot of the masculines are reaching out in 5D in dream space. And the energy definitely is intensifying when it comes to the masculine coming forward, seeking that forgiveness. And I do feel a lot of the feminines have reached that place of liberation and have offered forgiveness. So I feel get ready for some passion to be reignited within these connections this week. But we will see what else needs to come through for the masculine. So I do feel the masculine is getting bombarded with all kinds of signs and synchronicities, and coming into this deep awareness that he does have the ability to channel energies from the spiritual realm. So a lot of self-development is taking place this week for many of the divine masculines is what I'm feeling. And there's that, energy of meditation, being open to receiving and forgiveness again on the bottom of the deck. So, and I love the void come out in reverse. So we're coming out of the void. We're coming out of that dark void. Things have been working below the surface. Things have been shifting. Perceptions have been shifting. And I feel coming out of the void, coming out of the stuckness as the masculine goes through this massive purging and cleansing, and that's like that Tower reversed. Everything that can no longer remain is going to get blasted out of the masculine's life this week in order for him to be willing to live consciously with the feminine. So I do feel it's decision time. I think a lot of things have been happening to the masculine unconsciously, and he's coming into this awareness of he truly has the power to choose a better life for himself, and coming into this deep acceptance of this divine counterpart, complex connection. And I feel facing all kinds of challenges and being tested in order to step into improvement. So I feel this deep awareness of this connection, the complexities of this connection, and facing challenges when it comes to these energies. And I feel the feminine, you're coming into this beautiful soul alignment. So you just got to keep leaning into your spiritual guides, your spiritual team, connecting with your guides, the angels and the archangels, and protect your energy. Because like I said, when it comes to these soul connections, we have all of those short-term karmic contracts that try to come between the counterparts. And so I think it's coming into that deep awareness of understanding who's been a block to these unions, who's been speaking negatively, who's been guiding you down the wrong path with lies, a lot of illumination. And I feel as the feminine comes into this beautiful alignment, there is going to be a need for some boundaries, because the masculine is facing all kinds of negative forces, and the feminine is just being asked to be, and to understand that the masculine is on a very important part of his journey right now when it comes to understanding the lies, the falsehoods, where he's been led astray, and understanding that it's always been the divine feminine that has been speaking to his heart and his soul. So a lot of deconstruction of the ego mind for the masculine as he, regains control. I do think get ready to receive a message, an apology, divine feminine. I think a lot of the masculines fear that you're going to meet somebody new, and so they know they have to come forward with that intimacy. So I feel a lot of the masculines have been spiraling out of control, trying to regain control, and they're preparing to come in with that apology. So let's see what else needs to come through on the masculine side. So we got blessings on the masculine side. Oh my goodness. So it's quite possible that the masculine could be coming into an unexpected windfall as soon as he releases the karmic contracts, because the universe will not bring forward your blessings when you're dealing with somebody that is, bring forward a lot of karma. So there's a lot of confusion, I think, when it comes to the masculine finding his determination to come forward. I do think there's a lot of fear when it comes to lack mentality surrounding money and finances, not understanding that the blessings are on the other side of facing all of that fear and finding that determination. So I do feel the karmics are trying to create all kinds of obstacles and challenges when it comes to the masculine moving, making plans to move towards his hopes and his wishes. And I do feel money blocks for the masculine, because there's been this deep attachment and this fear of this renewal when it comes to fixing what is broken. So I do feel a lot of the masculines are very much feeling attacked, emotionally vulnerable, needing some compassion, going through this grief. And there's that grieving, that father wound. Maybe a lot of the masculines are wanting to, go visit somebody at a grave site. They're definitely struggling in the energies. So on the feminine, we get this release. The feminine has released the pride and the ego, is what I am feeling, and is ready to embrace this love with the masculine is another big message with the love. So we have to be open to receiving, and we have to release all of these negative aspects. So look at that, illumination. A lot is being illuminated and shown. And so, just like the masculine, the feminine has never been able to release this connection. And so it's the pride and the ego that tells us we can't have this great love. But there is going to be another release in order for this illumination to release this fear. And fear is what keeps us stuck, right? Fear is really an illusion of the mind. So it is like this beginning stages of this rebirth And I feel the masculine really is needing to seek some guidance in the energies. So let's jump in with some tarot. I don't want to go too deep. Oh, Queen of Wands, Six of Swords, moving on from that karmic feminine energy, and moving towards some big, big love. So we're going to see what needs to come through on the masculines and the stars. So it is this energy of this beautiful uncaging, sitting in some authentic truth, and, you know, uncaging the darkness. So we're going to do 9 cards on the masculine side. We got the Star at the gate, the Fool, beautiful. Ace of Cups, oh my God. The Star, Aquarian energy, the Fool, Aries, and the Ace of Cups. There's that big, big couple of. 9 of Pentacles, 10 of Swords, Queen of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles, Temperance, 9 of Swords. So there is a lot of anxiety coming up for the masculine. I do feel many of them are stepping into being single. I think they are single. They've taken that leap of faith. And I feel a lot of them have been embracing self-love. But there's a need to address this betrayal. And I do feel maybe the blessings are coming to the feminine, and maybe that's another issue that the masculine has to work with. But I feel the feminine saying, hey, I'm grounded, I'm stable, I'm solid, I got a big pentacle here. Are you in or are you out? Because look at that. There's a great big opportunity to build unlimited abundance and to bring healing into this situation. But the divine masculine is going to have to get out of his head. There's fear about coming in with that offer because of the fact that they left the feminine out in the cold and walked away and have been withholding all of these emotions for a very long time. And it is that energy of walking the walk of shame, putting the past to bed. And I do feel needing to address this betrayal. The masculine is being haunted by spirit to make amends, and he's about to get smacked with the big tower, facing all kinds of challenges, and going deep within the pain of this ending when it comes to all of the manipulation. I think preparing to send a message. So that's kind of where the masculines are at. They're feeling the pain of the separation from source, the separation from the feminine, and they've been withholding the fact that they have recently walked away from the karmic contract. There is a new beginning here, maybe within 10 days, 10 weeks. It's likely you will hear from the masculine that they've walked away from that karmic contract. But I do want to look a little bit deeper into the 10 and the 9 of Swords, because 9 is rounding completion, 10 is one step ahead. And so, yeah, they're definitely at that coming to Jesus moment. And that karmic definitely has had the masculine around, you know, chained to that karmic contract. This Queen of Wands has, you know, the lion chained right up. And it is this coming to Jesus moment, Pisces, Aries, Leo, Sag, when it comes to this shift in perception, finding all of their strength. Like, they're having a hard time going into, you know, the understanding of the Knight of Wands. They would come in with passion. They didn't commit to this legacy with the divine feminine, and they're definitely hitting that rock bottom to understand this lesson in its entirety about manipulation, using passion as a form of control. And I feel they're deeply seeking balance in their life right now. Let's take a look at the Queen of Pentacles, Four of Wands, the Lovers, and the Six of Cups. So yeah, and there's that King of Wands reversed. A lot of these masculines are very angry. A lot of these masculines are very obsessed with the feminine right now, trying to heal any jealousy issues. There is going to be an opportunity for the twins to come together, and I do feel the masculine is making that unexpected choice in love, and deep within some nostalgia. As the feminine feeds her self-love, the masculine goes into the guilt, the regret, the remorse, and the shame, and is at that crossroads about to get the rug pulled out from under him when it comes to breaking free from these very toxic karmic soul contracts. Beautiful. The Devil in reverse. Done. I'm done with the chains. I'm breaking free from this illusion. I'm done listening to what everybody else has to say, and I'm choosing me, because it is time for these connections to move forward. So let's grab the Divine Oracle deck and see what needs to come through on the feminine side. Two of Coins, Eight of Swords. So where do you need to release any old outdated ideas of self and release any juggling when it comes to the ego playing tricks and saying you can't have this love, divine feminine, because you can have this great love, but you too have to break free from these old mindsets. So let's take a look on the divine feminines and 9 of Cups, 3 of Cups, King of Swords, 9 of Wands, the Fool, the Hierophant, the Devil, oh my gosh, the Empress, and the Queen of Coins. So, Knight of Swords. There's going to be some very fast, unexpected communication, likely around that full moon in Sag. There's going to be an opportunity to mend this bridge. There's a lot of energies being reflected to the twins when it comes to this passion being reignited, an opportunity to start over, and there's that good fortune, blessings. Things are spinning forward as all of this karmic webbing kind of gets undone, and so the feminine's kind of sitting in this 9 of Cups. Living your best life. You're enjoying life. And I think there's lots to celebrate as the masculine prepares to come in and have that honest conversation. I also feel a lot of the feminines have mastered harnessing their inner masculine energy and healing that father wound. A lot of ancestral patterns are coming up to be addressed and healed for this new beginning, because we are stepping into these higher levels of commitment, the Hierophant. A lot of the feminines are really stepping into honoring their mission, their purpose, their connection to God's source. And then we get the Devil. So I kind of feel like the masculine too is just obsessed with the divine feminine and everything that she holds within her heart. So I do feel a big, big blessing is coming, but I do want to look into this Devil energy, because this could be another layer of releasing addictions. I feel the feminine too, releasing any ego desires. And it is this graduating energy, graduating from our depression, our suppression. We're not being suppressed anymore. We're going through that last layer of healing when it comes to our foundation of self, and you know, forgiveness for the manipulation that the masculine caused. A lot of us were taken to our knees, and so, you know, it is about doing the work, planning that new foundation, and a lot of nostalgia coming up for the feminine too. So let's take a look at this King of Swords, what he has to say. 7 of Wands, Page of Coins, the Tower. He's coming in very fast with a message. He's ready to do the work. He's ready to defend this connection. I'm ready to do the work, and I'm coming in with an offer, and I think it's going to be very shocking, but this is ultimate fulfillment. So I think releasing the false contracts, undoing all of the karma, and a lot of knotting being untangled, unwebbed when it comes to these unions. So definitely an opportunity to see eye to eye again and have that conversation. So let's get a couple last messages, guys. We're going to get 1 card for the Divine Masculine, please. 1 card, Spirit, 1 card. Oh, I say 1 and they give me a whole whack load. So we're going to take the Obsidian is what stood out for me. And then we got a big pile on the floor here. Spirit really likes to mess with me. So I feel the masculines are going through a recharge of some sort when it comes to rewriting their destiny, preparing to speak that truth without a doubt, because a lot has been illuminated from their when it comes to their spiritual path. So I do feel a lot of the masculines are coming forward with that volcanic explosion when it comes to these emotions. I think a lot of extreme sharp edges are coming up. It's like this spiritual surgery when it comes to these wounds. And I feel the masculine really has been working with a lot of bad juju being sent his way. There's a lot of dark forces at work trying to pull and throttle the masculine back. And so a need to protect himself. And I feel everything is seeming like out of question. And so the feminine really needs to just tune into that serenity and shine that electric light very, very brightly. So it's like the masculine can no longer keep ignoring that constant inner voice. As you tune into your serenity, this is saying the masculine actually has to handle this situation once and for all. And so your calming adornment really is getting the masculine to really stop and listen And I think you might be surprised at how quickly the masculine comes in with that conversation. Because I do feel the feminine is embracing all of these elevated thought processes, these elevated feelings, and dreaming this connection into her very being. And so the masculine is going to be diverted back onto his track and moved away from all of those pesky psychic vampires is kind of what I'm feeling. Beautiful. Because we are ascending on our rightful throne. We are suiting up in our spiritual armor. We are going into all of these past life timelines. We are stepping into our ancient Egyptian codes. We're stepping into our high priestess gifts, and we are preparing for the golden age of Aquarius. And so I do feel it's going to be a beautiful walk in the park for the twins coming up here, and it is going to be mandatory that the masculine come back on that bended knee when it comes to this connection and ascending on our rightful throne. Let's get a couple last messages here. So what would the divine masculine want the feminine to know, the hidden truth? He's working on getting into a much better headspace right now, and his heart is telling him to just do it. He misses you regardless of how things seem. So I do think he's been deeply affected, more affected than you know, on this journey. And he does. He misses you regardless of what it looks like in your outer world. And so I think lying was easier than telling the truth. And I think so many lies have been told. They're all getting exposed. And the masculine does want you to know that we will be together again. We will be together again. So I think the masculines have been thinking a lot about you lately, so that's why they're likely popping up in the 5D. They've never, ever forgotten about you, even though many of us think that they have. So let's just get a couple last twin flame oracle messages for the week ahead. And we'll call it a day, and I'm going to start working on some more zodiac signs, guys. So karmic partner is really pushing the masculine to grow, and there is a need for protection. When it comes to that karmic partner for the masculine, he needs to replenish his reserves because the karmic partner really has drained him on all avenues, and he's really needing to shield himself. And I feel divine feminine, your inner work is really paying off. The answers that you seek are coming. We're stepping into this uplifted path, and there's a big, big, big change in the wind. And I know we're supposed to have all kinds of scattered showers here today, so get ready. We're in this powerful gateway, the 666 gateway. Major positive shifts are coming. We are shifting out of difficulty, so very soon happy news is coming in forward motion. And that's what I got for the forecast for the week ahead, guys. I really hope this helped. I hope this resonated. If you would like to book a personal or a twin soul reading, I encourage you to check out that description box below, and I look forward to seeing you all again next time. Thank you.